You know, sometimes in football, everything can change in just one night, one single game, one drive, one moment that flips your story completely upside down. And for Baker Mayfield, that's exactly what happened. This is the story of how a former number 1 overall pick went from being written off by almost every team in the NFL to pulling off one of the most unbelievable comebacks we've ever seen and saving his career in the process. But to really understand how wild that moment was, we've got to go all the way back to where the story began. It's April 26, 2018. The Cleveland Browns are on the clock with the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. For years, and I mean decades, the Browns have been searching for their franchise quarterback, from Tim Couch in 1999 to Brady Quinn, Brandon Weeden, Colt McCoy, Johnny Manziel to DeShone Kizer. The list went on and on. Since returning to the NFL in 1999, the Browns had started 29 different quarterbacks. 29. It was a revolving door of false hope and disappointment. The franchise had become a graveyard for quarterbacks. Fans had seen the infamous jersey list, that long brown jersey with duct tape names of every failed QB the team had cycled through. But on that night in 2018, things felt different. The Browns had gone 0-16 the previous season. They were desperate, not just for wins, but for a leader, someone to finally bring stability to a cursed organization. And when NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell walked up the podium and said,
"The Cleveland Browns select Baker Mayfield, quarterback, Oklahoma."
Everything changed. And Baker Mayfield, the 6-foot-tall Heisman winner with fire in his eyes and a chip on his shoulder the size of Texas, fit the mold perfectly. From the moment Baker walked into the building, the energy shifted. He had swagger, confidence, and charisma that Cleveland hadn't seen in decades. And it wasn't just talk, he backed it up. During his rookie season, Baker started as a backup to Tyrod Taylor, but when Tyrod went down in Week 3 against the Jets, Baker came in and completely changed the game. He led the Browns to their first win in 635 days. Fans were losing their minds, and you could feel the electricity return to the city. Baker Mayfield went on to throw 27 touchdown passes in just 13 games, breaking the NFL rookie record. The Browns finished 7-8-1, and for the first time in forever, there was legitimate hope in Cleveland. Baker was the guy, the future, the savior, and 2 years later, he delivered on that promise. In the 2020 season, under head coach Kevin Stefanski, Baker played smart, efficient football. He threw 26 touchdowns to just 8 interceptions, led the Browns to an 11-5 record, and in the wild card round, helped the franchise win its first playoff game in 26 years, beating the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Cleveland went absolutely insane. Baker planted the Browns flag in Heinz Field, figuratively this time, and it felt like the start of something special. But in the NFL, success can be fragile, and for Baker Mayfield, the dream started to unravel fast. In 2021, things took a bad turn. Early in the season, Baker tore the labrum in his non-throwing shoulder. Most quarterbacks would have shut it down and healed. Baker didn't. He chose to tough it out and keep playing. It was admirable, but it ended up costing him. His mechanics suffered, his accuracy dipped, and his decision-making went downhill.
Pressure. Baker in trouble, able to get away. Now Watt, ball is loose. The ball is loose at the 47-yard line, and Baker is still down. He's playing with that sore left shoulder, partially torn labrum, and he landed right on it.
You could see the frustration building, not just in Baker, but in the entire team. The offense wasn't clicking, Odell Beckham Jr. wanted out, media started piling on, and suddenly, the same city that once worshipped him was turning cold. By the end of the 2021 season, it was clear something was off between Baker and the Browns, and in the offseason, Cleveland made a move that shocked the league.
Deshaun Watson is expected to be a member of the Cleveland Browns. Yes, the Cleveland Browns. In an unbelievable, stunning turn of events, Deshaun Watson is waiving his no-trade clause only to the Browns, sources tell me.
They traded for Deshaun Watson and handed him a fully guaranteed $230 million contract. That was it. That was the breakup. The Browns didn't just move on, they slammed the door shut on the Baker Mayfield era. And just like that, the man who'd brought hope back in Cleveland was out. In July of 2022, Baker was traded to the Carolina Panthers for a late-round pick. It wasn't ideal, but it was a chance. maybe his last, to prove he still had it. But things just didn't click. The Panthers were a disaster. Head coach Matt Rule was on the hot seat, the offensive line was shaky, and the scheme didn't fit Baker's style. He struggled to find rhythm, he missed throws, took hits, and looked like a shell of the confident quarterback we once saw in Cleveland. By mid-season, Baker was benched, and a few weeks later, he was released. Just 4 years removed from being the #1 overall pick, Baker Mayfield was unemployed. For most players, that's the end of the story. But football, every once in a while, gives you one last shot. In December 2022, the Los Angeles Rams were falling apart. The defending Super Bowl champs were battered and broken. Matthew Stafford was injured, Cooper Kupp was out, and the offense was running on fumes. Head coach Sean McVay needed anyone, to play quarterback for the last few games of the season. And then on December 6th, the Rams made a surprise move. They claimed Baker Mayfield off waivers. The crazy part? He had just 48 hours to learn the playbook before their Thursday night game against the Las Vegas Raiders. 2 days. Most people thought he'd sit on the bench and just get comfortable. But nope, Baker suited up. He was thrown right into the fire.
No, you're good. But it's wild having to rush to the airport because I got a call from Les Snead, Sean McVay, like, hey, we'd love to get you out here earlier to see if you can possibly play Thursday. And I was like, fuck. So I rushed to the airport, catch the last flight I possibly can. I mean, I just cleared waivers and got picked up. Get on the flight, get out there. Get to West Coast. I get to the facility at 10 p.m. So it's me, Liam Cohen, and Zach Robinson and Sean McVay going through what they have offensively.
And what happened next could not have been scripted any better. The game started ugly as the Raiders jumped out to an early 7-0 lead and the crowd was quiet. Baker was literally learning the playbook on the sidelines between drives.
And Mayfield's first play as a Ram will be a pass off play action. Go figure. To the 45-yard line. He hits Van Jefferson, who we probably didn't even meet until yesterday.
Baker entered the game after the Rams' first series, replacing John Wolford late in the first quarter. By the fourth quarter, with just over 9 minutes left in the game, the Rams trailed 16-3. They needed a miracle as the game seemed all but over. But you could see something starting to click for Mayfield early in the drive. You could see flashes of the old Baker, the fire, the swagger, the competitiveness. First, he orchestrated a 75-yard touchdown drive that was capped off with a Cam Akers rushing TD with just a little over 3 minutes remaining.
Mayfield opens up, hands off. Akers finding Pater, pushing the pile. There it is! Touchdown, Cam the Ram!
Then with the Rams defense holding the Raiders offense to a quick 3-and-out, this set the stage for Baker Mayfield's Hollywood comeback in Los Angeles, the city of dreams. However, Baker had one last hurdle to get over as he saw himself in a near impossible situation. Down by 6 points with no timeouts and 98 yards to the end zone with less than 2 minutes on the clock, you could start hearing people turning off their TVs. It was over, but not for Baker Mayfield. He took the field, calm but locked in. He hit Ben Skoranek on a big sideline throw, then another quick out to Tutu Atwell. The chains kept moving, the energy in the stadium started to rise. Then a huge Raiders penalty gave the Rams life. Baker kept pushing, moving the ball methodically downfield, and with just 10 seconds left from the 23-yard line, he dropped back, looked left, and launched a perfect spiral down the sideline.
Mayfield flings it left side. End zone. Caught by Van Jefferson with 9 seconds remaining. Touchdown, LA! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! To cement a come from behind 17-16 win.
Van Jefferson caught it, touchdown. The place exploded, Rams win 17-16. Baker Mayfield, after joining the team just 2 days earlier, had led a 98 yards game-winning drive on national television. It was one of the most improbable, unforgettable comebacks in NFL history. That night, Baker Mayfield went from being a washed-up former first-rounder to being a headline again. You could see it on his face: relief, emotion, disbelief. After the game, he said, "I'm just thankful. It's been the most chaotic 48 hours of my life." That wasn't just another win. That was the game that saved his NFL career. The performance reignited his reputation across the league. Analysts praised his toughness, leadership, and football IQ. Teams took notice, and in the offseason, Baker got another chance, this time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everyone thought Tampa would crumble without Tom Brady, but Baker came in with a point to prove. He played fearless, efficient football, threw over 4,000 yards, led the Bucs to a division title, and showed everyone that the kid from Oklahoma still had plenty left in the tank. The game in Los Angeles didn't just save his career, it reminded the world who he was. When you look at Baker Mayfield's journey, it's a story of resilience. From being the savior of Cleveland, to being discarded, to sleeping in a hotel, learning a new playbook overnight, only to come back and deliver one of the greatest underdog moments we've ever seen. It's proof that in football and in life, all it takes is one opportunity, one drive, one night. That December evening at SoFi Stadium wasn't just another regular season game, it was redemption. Because for Baker Mayfield, that game against the Raiders wasn't just a comeback, it was a game that saved his NFL career.